Cassid's art is like finger painting, but with butter Frank's lambasting. Let's paint. Let's paint. No pain. Let's paint. Pat's got takes like ketchup on steak. Tommy's lost in a Josh Allen deep fake. Student body rights, yells in all caps. Not a reliable source, balance and free agent acts. Let's paint. No pain. Let's paint. No pain. We spill blue cheese on the playbook page. Break tables like it's the podcast stage. Sponsored by Wings, Bets, and Lakeside Fries. This pod's more bills than a Josh Allen high five. Let's paint. No pain. Let's paint. No pain. Let's paint. The Bills canvas.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Hello, thank you for tuning into another edition of the Bills Canvas with our new time slot of 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. I am your host, Pat Bruckness. You can find me on Twitter at Pat_Bruckness. And always to my right, probably your left, I'm here with my co-host and one of my best friends, Tommy. Tommy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, a lot of news that just broke before we went live and everything like that. But before we get into all that, where can everybody find you?
Everybody can find me on X at @JambraT and all my other socials at Tommy Jambra.
All right, Tommy, I'm going to let you headline this conversation because like I just stated, a lot of news just broke regardless of things around the NFL, which is one of our segments here on the Bills Canvas. But Micah Parsons did get traded to the Green Bay Packers. I know you were one of the big advocates for Micah Parsons to Buffalo.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Micah Parsons being traded to Green Bay?
First and foremost, I like the trade that he's going to Green Bay instead of like an AFC team like the Ravens or the Chiefs. Like that's just something like if that were to happen, like I know Bills fans would be like heartbroken. Like why didn't Bean just go, give up the assets and the player to go get a, an all pro like Micah Parsons. But I mean, I think for me, I like the move in a way that, he's staying in the NFC and I think it helps I think it's going to help the Packers out a lot in that division. And remember in one of our previous shows, I had the Packers winning the NFC North. So, I mean, that just adds on to being the favorites maybe in the NFC North.
Yeah. My initial thoughts on it was, let's see the compensation. Let's see if this is something that Buffalo could have done. And for anybody that does not know, the trade compensation was 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Now, that would have been equivalent to 2 first-round picks, obviously, from Buffalo. Maybe a little bit more because Buffalo is choosing later in the draft. It's basically a second-round pick anyways. And Ed Oliver. That I would have been okay with doing with me. We both have had discussions about that. We both said we would be okay with trading Ed Oliver. We thought we would have taken like a Curtis Samuel, to an A.J. Epinesa, maybe even a Ray Davis.
Right.
But the contract extension, the guy got the 4 years. He's at $47 million per year, Tommy. And $136 million is guaranteed. You cannot afford to pay that when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, who's getting paid. And I believe in the next 2 years, his hit goes up to $86 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something you cannot do.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but like a team like Jordan Love, sure, he's one of the higher paid quarterbacks, but the rest of the roster are more younger guys on their rookie contracts, and they are the youngest team in the NFL now.
Right.
After that trade. So I'm glad, like you said, it's not Baltimore or Kansas City. I'm glad it's in the NFC. I don't get why Jerry Jones would trade him to Green Bay, though.
That's the kryptonite right there. You know what I'm saying, Pat, in the playoffs. So.
Right. And the last time Dallas was in the playoffs, Green Bay beat them.
Yeah.
And I don't think Green Bay wins that division. So I think that Green Bay and Dallas are going to be fighting for a wild card spot. And you just handed your rival your best player.
Best player on the one of the best players on the team. It's just it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, with on the Bills side of it, we didn't have the money, and like I said, and you would have to risk an Ed Oliver and probably, like I said, two to three first round picks, and I just don't think he would be worth it with that price tag. I mean, Ed Oliver, he helps stop that run and gets pressure on the quarterback. So. And that's one of Micah's weaknesses is in the run game, and I just feel like if that would have happened, we wouldn't have the stud next to him to stop the run. So
right, I mean, we still probably would have had a Greg Rousseau, but still, you just run the ball to the opposite side.
Yeah, I'm fine with Joey Bosa, and I don't think he's getting a lot of credit than what he deserves if he's healthy on the field. So like I said,
right,
got to give Joey Bosa give him a chance.
Yeah, because when he's healthy, he's definitely a top 10 pass rusher. That's the thing. When healthy. Now, I know we have said this multiple times on the show. The Bills run the most, they rotate their defensive line the most in the NFL.
Right.
I think Joey Bosa stays healthy. I mean, we have proven that we can win in the regular season without a premier pass rusher. We need that impact player on the defensive line in the playoffs. That's when Joey Bosa comes into play.
Right.
But, so my final thoughts, I'm glad it's the NFC and not in the AFC.
Same here, brother.
Now, before we get into everything else, Hard Knocks and a lot of other, 53-man roster, the Bills' new rivalry jerseys, I do want to mention the giveaway that we have going on. We partnered up with Goodberry to give away a 90s custom jersey. It's a 90s Josh Allen custom jersey, 1 of 1. It's white. It's an extra large. And to win that, what you have to do is help Do Champions get to 3,000 followers on Twitter.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter at Do Champions. And follow Joe Goodberry on Twitter as well. And his Twitter is, Glenn Goodberry. His brother's Joe. Glenn, GLENN _ Goodberry, GOODBERRY. And then if we don't hit 3,000 followers by week 1, September 7th, that's the deadline. That's when we have to get it we can give away the jersey. And we post that post as well. So, Tommy, now that we got that out of the way, I wish we could enter those jersey giveaways, man. Why can't we get one of those? The jersey's so nice.
I know, man. It's just our luck, right?
Right.
But like I said, it's a great opportunity to try to win this jersey from Do Champions. I mean, everybody just give us a follow, and hopefully we get to 3,000, and we can give this Josh Allen classic 90s jersey away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice jersey. I mean,
yeah.
You go into your final game at the Ralph wearing that jersey, people are going to be like, wait, how did you get that?
Yeah.
And it's stitched and everything. It's so nice.
Yep.
Now,
it's real deal.
Hard Knocks. It is. I might have to talk to Glenn about making one for me. I'm being for real.
Give it a shot, Pat. You never know. You never know. He might give you a yes.
Right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's
right.
my favorite saying. Now, let's talk a little bit about Hard Knocks. Obviously, this is the second to last week of Hard Knocks. Next week, September 2nd, is the final week of Hard Knocks. And I think a lot of Bills fans are the only ones that really enjoyed it. Maybe not a lot of other fan bases enjoyed it. But, us Bills fans, we love seeing the ins and out of our team, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I think the Bills front office really only cared about Bills Mafia. Like they want to see guys like KJ Hamler, stuff like that. But what are your takeaways on Hard Knocks this week?
This week I got a couple things. Like I liked what they did with the quarterbacks, like, getting them to with their feet and everything and their throwing motion. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like with that coach they were with, or is he a coach or a trainer? I think
Chris Hess, yes.
Yeah, coach it. Yeah. And then another tidbit for me was Jimmy Charlo, like the little story they had on him, like how he was trying to make the team and like going through the ups and downs from to tearing his ACL with the Jets to making it to the Bills initial roster of 90, what was it, 98?
We were up to 91.
Or 91, 90 up to 91. And then like this story, like how, his dad, flew in and caught his game with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So those are the few highlights for me on episode 4.
Now, I love they bring up the throwing mechanics and everything like that, because that's a lot of things that, a lot of people don't think about. It's not just you go out there and you sling the rock in practice and, in college. where you do it in Pee Wee, then you do it in high school, then you do it in college, then you do it in the NFL. That's not what, there's a lot of mental stuff that goes on in that. It's not just all physical. Now,
Right.
I'm glad that they showed that because Josh Allen said how much Chris has helped him in his career. And, we have seen a leap from Josh Allen each year. We saw him, and Chris has even said it. In, the first year, Josh Allen, you saw him throwing a lot with his shoulder. Not really his hips. He's more just flinging it with his shoulder, which is crazy, because, that man has a rocket of an arm.
Yeah.
Now that he's using his hips, he can probably throw the ball even further, for being completely honest.
Oh, yeah.
But you see with Mitch Trubisky too. Mitch Trubisky worked on a few things. Who ended up winning the QB2 job. So congratulations to him.
Congrats.
Now, when I look at that though, and it's something that's really stood out to me with that was what Chris has said about how, average quarterbacks, it takes about a week to 3 weeks. Two reps to a week to figure it out. Or he said a week to 3 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
The good quarterbacks, do it in that time frame as well. But the great quarterbacks do it in 2 to 3 reps.
Right.
Josh Allen does it in 2 to 3 reps, and then there's a clip where you see Josh Allen working through it, and he goes, "Oh, like this." He goes, "Yeah, perfect. You just did that in 2 to 3 reps."
Yeah.
Like it's just how fast, that's what separates, a guy like Josh Allen to a guy like a Justin Fields. But it's a pretty sizable margin. Not saying Justin Fields doesn't improve or anything like that.
Right.
It's just how fast Josh Allen learns and how he is willing to learn. Because you see him, the next day when they're inside the the QB room and they're going through all the film and everything like that, Josh Allen's eyes are just laser focused on it like this.
Right.
So you can even though he just won an MVP, he's going into year 9. He's still willing to learn. That's something we have seen from Josh Allen throughout his whole career. Just that willingness to get better and to improve, and he's always willing to listen. Which I'm sure there's some quarterbacks out there. Once they're like, I won MVP, I know what I'm doing.
Right. And they were showing a lot of of some of the rough practices. You could see like the Josh getting angry and Coach McDermott. I had one question for you, Pat. Do you think, because I think they showed that one practice where Trey White got injured, but do you think that they told the cameras not to mess with Trey White after he got hurt? Do you think that they were trying to keep that on the low?
Yeah, I think the Bills are trying to keep that on the low.
That's what I was thinking too.
Brandon Beane said he has nothing to really say about it, but he's not ruling out week 1.
Right.
But last time we talked to Brandon Beane, the media talked to Brandon Beane, which was about a week ago, or right before the Tampa Bay game. He says, "We're waiting for an MRI."
Yeah.
You would have an MRI back by now. So obviously the Bills are downplaying it as they always do.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. Keep that competitive advantage. Don't let Baltimore know who you're starting. Now, I think that it is a good sign that Maxwell Harrison. Well, it's not a good sign that he's on the IR for the first 4 games.
Right.
It's a good sign that the Bills going to keep up somebody else. You know what I mean? I think Trey White plays week 1. Now I know people worried about Benford. I'm not worried about Benford.
Right.
He could be dealing with a little lingering cramp. Who knows what it could be?
Right.
Obviously, we will find out next week when you have to list stuff on the injury report. You have to.
Yeah, you got
so
to.
So we will see then. And I think that's when we'll see him. That's when we'll see Christian Bedford practice. But it was good to see Khalil Shakir back in practice.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, get back on track with your point about Tre'Davious White and the cameras. I think, because we heard it from Conor McGovern last week on Hard Knocks. The Bills, because they're the first winning team to be on Hard Knocks, they have a little bit of a say what can go on camera and what cannot. And I have no doubt about it. That Trey White injury is definitely, they told him you can't air that.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy Charlo, I love that work ethic that he has, staying at the facilities late at night. And they even said that in Brandon Beane's office. And, he's a guy who came in the final 2 weeks of camp. He debuted against that Bears preseason game back in week 2, August 17th. Then, obviously, he showed out against Tampa Bay, and he did come off the ACL injury. It's just, man, those Army guys, man.
Yeah.
And
they were saying they were having a hard time keeping him off the practice field because he was staying so late. So I like that. I like that work ethic, and I think that might have helped him attach onto our practice squad.
Right. Even if the coaches don't say anything, they see everything. They do.
Right.
A manager could, not a manager, associate could have saw him and say, hey, this guy stays late. And I love that. I love, how Jimmy Charlo, staying on the field, watching film, everything like that. He called his dad, everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to put him, stash him on our practice squad. I think that's going to be a very valuable ad.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the special teams, if it's probably next year, if not sooner. Well, hopefully, barring any injuries, not sooner, I should say.
Right.
But you kind of took my takeaways for Hard Knocks, so I'll give you one more.
Okay.
There's a clip of Sean McDermott in practice screaming, saying, "You can't get off the ball."
Oh
You know,
yeah.
we're averaging two
Right.
false starts, 2 pre-snap penalties a practice. And he told Frank Gore Jr. to get off the field. You guys can't even get off the ball. Then he made them run.
Yeah.
I love that. That's that starts in Pee Wee in high school. Get the
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals down, which Sean McDermott always preaches fundamental football. You make them run. And if you do it again, guess what? You're running again. I know because that happened to me in high school. I I had a few pre-snap penalties like that. It was a long one. I didn't like that. So I really enjoy that. Because the players play for Sean McDermott, right?
Right.
And how they're, we saw, the whole Tyler Dunn hit piece and how they responded. So obviously they respect Sean McDermott, and Sean McDermott's hard on them. But I'm pretty sure they also know they can go to Sean McDermott if they need anything at the same time. It's not just, this is my head coach. He's a dick.
Right.
No. At the end of the day, you have a job to do, and Sean McDermott, I think that's the right way to coach him. I know everybody said Sean McDermott might be soft in practice.
No.
Or he might be too passive. He's not. We've seen
He's
that
not.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah. He wants the most competitive team out there that can produce on and off the field.
Right. And a lot of people say, he's a little he's not. He's aggressive.
Yeah.
And we have been told by former players, not going to name any names, friends of the network, that Sean McDermott and the Bills coaching staff practices hard in practice. They practice hard. I mean, you've been told that. I've been told that. Students and that. Everybody's been told that in New Champions.
Right.
So there's Hard Knocks show that. That's all the Sean McDermott haters out there. Oh, he's a passive head coach. No, he's not.
No.
He's having these guys run for a pre-snap penalty in practice with the second and third stringers.
Yep.
What are we on about? So that was my biggest takeaway from Hard Knocks. And I'm kind of sad it's coming to an end, but at the same time, it's like good season starting. I don't want nothing out there.
Yeah. We got one more episode, Pat. One more episode of Hard Knocks. So we'll definitely get deep into it next week on the final episodes.
Right. What are you looking forward to seeing in the final episode?
I think we're gonna definitely see how the cuts and everything affected the guys and everything. Like we'll probably see the guys coming in and giving them the news if they're gonna make it onto the roster or not. I think that's gonna happen in this episode, and then we'll probably see
say it.
Say what?
Say it. I know what you're gonna say. I want you to say it because I have something to say afterwards.
I was gonna say maybe they we'll see them with the new jerseys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see that coming up. But what were you thinking, Pat?
JP21 All Pro Poe.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes, we brought back Jordan Poyer.
I was gonna ask you that before, Pat. Like, what do you think of those of Jordan Phillips and Jordan Poyer back on our practice squad? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I know we're gonna talk about it later. The 53-man roster and practice squad, everything like that. But looking at bringing back guys like Jordan Phillips, he was one of our main contributors on the defensive line in the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
He had the only sack for us, and he literally lifted up the offensive lineman who weighed over 300 pounds. Dude's a monster, and obviously it's always good to have somebody like that on your practice squad.
Right.
Now, I know a lot of people they were really pissed off about Jordan Phillips being on the practice squad or even in the main roster. People don't understand is now these guys like Jordan Poyer, Jordan Phillips are no longer on our active roster. They are now on our practice squad, and they know the system. They know the ins and outs. They know the guys. They have continuity with all the guys. So,
and I was gonna say another reason why I think we added those guys to the practice squad is because if we have an injury or we need someone to step up, like I think Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott want proven vets onto the field if they're called upon to make plays, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons why those two are back on to the practice squad.
Right, and barring any injury, hopefully knock on wood, there isn't any. You got guys that know the system.
Yep.
And shout out to Brandon Beane for putting together this roster to where our practice squad is loaded. It is completely loaded.
Right.
So shout out to them, and all credit to Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane continuing to draft well, getting better with it each year.
Right.
Now, with that being said, Jordan Poyer though, I love bringing back Jordan Poyer as well. He's a guy. I kind of already went over that, but
Yep.
I think he will have the role that Micah Hyde played, but Jordan Poyer said he wants to play.
Yeah, that's the main
So,
thing.
DeMar Hamlin, you're on watch.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Pat, who's to say that, maybe they might have offered Gabe Davis a minimum contract maybe to come play too. I mean, maybe they're just waiting, with that injury that he's got to. Do you think there's a possibility that, maybe he's just waiting and he could come back to the roster or to the practice squad?
Well, I do know from a reliable source, and that's Student Body, right? He posted on Twitter that the Bills did offer Gabe Davis a contract.
Okay.
Now it's just kind of up to Gabe Davis. Where does he want to rehab?
Right.
I think he will end up signing with us. Him and Josh Allen are close. He knows the system to a little bit. It has changed since the last time he was here.
Right.
But I would expect Gabe Davis to make his decision relatively soon. I mean, he left Pittsburgh twice without a contract, or without signing a contract, I should say. We don't know if he offered him any.
Yeah.
If Pittsburgh did. But how'd you not want to go back to where you had your success?
Right. Now do you see it as a practice squad spot, or do you see it on the main roster? And if it's the main roster, whose spot does he take?
Ew, that's a good question. I do think that if he were to sign to the 53 squad, it would have to be Curtis Samuel's spot. I mean, because you have Shakir, you have Palmer, you have Coleman, you have Moore, you have Samuel, you have Shaver. Shavers ain't going anywhere.
Right.
It would have to be Curtis Samuel, right? I mean, he's a guy who can't stay on the field, but at the same time, he has done more for us than Stephon Diggs has in the playoffs.
I mean, I just like this Curtis Samuel thing. Like it just stuns me, man. Like you get a guy like Khalil Shakir, he was out how many weeks with the sprained ankle, and he's already back on the field. And then twice, and then Curtis Samuel, he has this illness. He was supposed to play in that last preseason game,
right?
But apparently an illness held him back, and then he's nowhere to be found in the practice field yesterday. So like I don't know what's going on with him, but I mean it just shows like if you can't produce or come to practice, like I don't know how many more strikes he has with this team,
Yeah, I mean, a player's best ability is availability.
Yeah.
So you definitely do have to stay on the field. And I mean, but I do think Gabe Davis will sign to the practice squad.
Hey,
I do.
Okay. I think so too. I think you're right on that. I think he starts with the practice squad, and then if something were to happen, then he could get elevated very, very quickly.
Right. Oh, and we do got a comment here from Hunter. Says the new jerseys are so fire. Yes, they are. Yep. And I believe
they are.
The whole NFL rivalry collection drops September 10th.
Yep.
Which I will be copying a jersey. I just don't know who or how many. I am going to be, I am stuck on a few. And if I can't make a decision, I am buying multiple. So we will see how that one goes. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that.
All right.
So now with that being said, Tommy, let's talk about our practice squad and 53-man roster. And I'm going to pull up the 53-man roster right now.
Okay.
Now, from our projections that we put out, we were not far off. Obviously, we had Cedric Van Pran and Granger starting on the IR, which he did not. So that was one of our ones that we were wrong about. But besides that, Tommy, we were pretty spot on.
Yeah, we were. I think we were. It was pretty spot on all our projections for this roster.
So, yeah, first let's start off with the practice squad signing that the Bills have. The Bills, it's not on the screen currently, but I'm just going to read off the list.
Okay.
The Bills, all these guys were signed to the Bills practice squad. Reminder is Shane Buechele, Frank Gore Jr., wide receiver Steven Gosnell, wide receiver Christian Wilkerson, tight end Kaleki Latu, offensive lineman Travis Clayton, who was put on the IR with the concussion, offensive lineman Dan Feeney, offensive lineman Kendrick Green, defensive tackle Zion Logue, defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, linebacker Jimmy Charlo, cornerback Kenta Jenkins, cornerback Daquan Hardy, cornerback Dane Jackson, safety Jordan Poyer, and safety Sam Franklin, who is a special team ace, as we have been told. So,
and I think they made a move today. I think they made a move today, Patrick, and I think Daquan Hardy got cut from the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there was a report today. I don't know who they signed, but I did read a report that said Daquan Hardy was released from the practice squad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that then. Dang. Okay. Well, a former 6th-round draft pick by, Sean McDermott Company, no longer here.
Yep.
But let's look at this 53-man roster now. You got quarterbacks Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky, running backs James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and Reggie Gilliam, he's a fullback and tight end. But in this, we have him listed as a running back. Wide receivers are Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Curtis Daniel, Elijah Moore, and Tyrell Shavers. Our tight ends are Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Jackson Halls. Offensive linemen are Deion Dawkins, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown, Alec Anderson, Chase Lunt, Ryan Vandermark, Cedric Van Pran Granger. So with those, Tommy, is there any names that surprise you?
I'm trying to think. I don't think like any of those really are, shockers. I mean, I did have
Maybe
Curtis
Jackson.
Samuel off this roster. I thought for sure they would try to trade him. Just because, like I said, he's not, if he's not going to be on the field producing in practices, like that's a no for the coaching staff. But other than that, yeah, he was my only big surprise, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy Elijah Moore made the roster. Big fan of him.
Yeah, I figured he was going to make it. I had a feeling he was going to make it.
Oh yeah.
And then after Shavers' big performance in that Tampa game, I was like, I think he's locked to get in, and soon enough he was on the 53 man, and I'm proud of him, man.
Yeah, I'm happy that he's a guy who was highly recruited coming out of high school.
Yep.
Played in college at Alabama, went undrafted, played with Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
So he's definitely played in big games out of the SEC, and he's a guy who I believe he's 6'1", 6'2", and he ran a 4.3.
Yep.
So I love what he can bring, and obviously he has one catch in his career, which was an 80-yard touchdown last year against the Jets in Week 18, and I know he has, now he has to get some continuity with Josh, and him and Josh already have a handshake too, so that's really nice to see.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the clip, but I believe it was Buffalo. Somebody posted it where it was like an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fire. It was an awesome handshake.
Oh, nice.
But let's get over to the defense now. The defensive linemen are Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau, A.J. Epinesa, Landon Jackson, Javon Solomon, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, T.J. Sanders, Deion Walker, Dwayne Carter, Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Joe Andreessen, Dorian Williams, and Shaq Thompson are your linebackers. Your cornerbacks are Benford and Tre'Davious White, Taron Johnson, Dorian Strong, Jamarcus Ingram, and Brandon Condrington, who should not see the field as a corner, and he's our kick returner.
Yeah.
Speaking of kick returners, let's talk about special teams. You got Tyler Bass, Brad Robbins as your punter. Tyler Bass is obviously your kicker. Your long snapper is Reed Ferguson.
Yeah, no surprises there. I thought maybe there was a shot maybe that Dwayne Carter could get cut, maybe back on the practice squad, but with Phillips going on the practice squad, I think that solidified his spot on the roster. I mean, other than that, I think they got it right on defense with the 53.
I think they did too, and I'm glad they kept a guy like Shaq Thompson, veteran presence, and a guy who I believe still has some things left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Bills did try out a few kickers today. They tried out Eddie Pinheiro. They tried out. Let me make sure I got this right here in my notes. Now with the Bills trying out kickers, do you think this is, it's Eddie Pinheiro, Zane Gonzalez, and Greg Joseph.
Oh, excuse me.
Do you think this is? Bless you. Do you think this is a indication to Tyler Bass's injury, or is this just something?
I think it could be. I think it could be injury related, just because maybe he, when he missed that easy kick, maybe he might have pulled something when he tried to kick that. I think it could be injury related, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was considered performance rating. You know what I'm saying? If they consider him, not reliable, then they need to get these kickers in to work out. And I think he's on his last year deal, so they might be trying to maybe get a kicker as backup, or just to have one in case he did like tweak something in that preseason game.
Yeah. Now, I am a fan of Bass. I feel like he really turned it around come playoff time. So I hope that he's okay, because obviously we don't want to bring in a new kicker and have him try working things out, especially week 1. That's a tough game. It's for seeding.
Yep.
So I hope he's okay, and hopefully it's nothing major.
Right. How do you feel about the punter, Pat? Do you feel like it's a good play to keep him as punter?
Yeah, I do. I felt like Brad Robbins put on a good, he punted a few in the preseason. I felt like very good. Obviously, Sam Martin's getting up there in age,
Right.
so you kind of want to move on from him. And Sam Martin's getting paid a good amount of money too. So obviously, I don't think we get much younger at punter, but I feel like we got a guy that might be a little bit more consistent than
Right.
Sam Martin. What
Okay.
are your opinions on the punter?
I mean, I like where we're at. I think, like you said, he might be more consistent than Sam Martin. So, going into the season, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we won't have to be punting a lot. So, if he is going to be punting, hopefully he can just angle the punch right and get the distance. So, I'm happy where we're at with the punter.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I know this is your favorite time of the week, Tommy's Takes.
Oh, I was going to ask you something before we go into Tommy's Takes.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, you're surprised that didn't make the practice squad or the 53 that maybe should have kept on to one of those squads. Like, who were you surprised that they didn't keep or latch on to the practice squad or the 53?
Looking at it, I am shocked that they didn't try to keep. Ooh, that's a really good question. There's a few names I'm like, oh, I wish we could have been able to keep him. But that is KJ Hamler. He's a guy who had a very good preseason, he had special teams, returning experience and overall good locker room guy. Obviously, he was the offseason,
Right.
He was a Hard Knocks darling for us. But other than that, I feel like, he could have done good things for us. He would have been a little bit better in that Isaiah McKenzie gadget role if we would still have that type of role, but we don't.
Right.
But that's what I mean about the depth, Tommy. It's hard to make this team.
It is, really is. Definitely. For me, I was gonna say Hamler, but another guy that I was shocked that they didn't try to keep would be Davidson. I mean, with the skills he had, I mean, he made some nice catches in the preseason. I mean, and he showed he could actually punt the ball too, which is pretty amazing. So I thought, like, for sure they would maybe try to stack him just for his versatility. And I know the coaches love versatility on this team, so it was kind of a shock to me that they didn't keep Davidson around. And another shocker to me was that Frank Gore was able to latch on to our practice squad because I thought he was going to get poached. I really did. Like, the way he was running the ball, like, I was thinking if he wasn't going to make the team, I was thinking some other team would give him a shot to make their roster, and apparently they didn't. And I'm just happy he's sticking on to the practice squad.
So am I. No Buffalo Bills were claimed.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Wanted to. And I think if Frank Gore has another preseason next year, like how he's had the last 2 years, he would not be on our roster, nor our practice squad.
Right.
Now, with that being said, maybe there is a spot for Frank Gore next year.
I think maybe there is if they don't reacquire Ty Johnson. I think he could take his spot next year if they don't bring Ty Johnson back.
I agree.
Yep.
But with that being said, you get to see our mugs back on the face. Now let's transition a little bit to Tommy's takes. I know this is your favorite time of the week.
Yep.
What's your take of the week?
Okay, my take of the week. I'm going right into the season, and my take of the week is that the Bills defense will hold Lamar Jackson under 55 yards rushing, and he will not have a rushing touchdown.
Ooh, I love that. So you're expecting the defense to come out hot then?
They're gonna game plan hot on Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I feel like with the new additions and up front, I think it's gonna be hard for Lamar to run on this defense, and they're gonna hold him in check and not allow a touchdown. Not allow a rushing touchdown against us.
And
what do you think?
Like that because
you like that?
I like that because we are good against mobile quarterbacks.
Right.
We're really good against mobile quarterbacks, especially Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, and even who else was a mobile quarterback that ran us? Justin Herbert in his rookie year running us. That's when he was using his legs, which he didn't do much either.
Yeah,
but
he did.
I do want to. I'm glad you brought that up because let's talk about Lamar Jackson's stats last year in the playoffs against us. Rushing stats, he took for 39 yards. I think that's good, Tommy.
You're getting cut. You were getting cut out there, Pat.
Okay, is that better?
It's a little chippy. You're
Can you hear
still
me
a little
now?
chippy. Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, what were you saying now?
Okay, yeah. Last year in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson he ran the ball 6 times, 60 rushing attempts for 39 rushing yards. So he held
Okay.
it under 55 with no
Okay.
rushing touchdowns. So I think you are right on cue with what we're gonna
I'm
do.
I'm hoping we
And
do that
defense is gonna
again.
be fresh, healthy. Matt Milano's flying around. He's not wearing that arm brace no more.
Yep.
Joey Bosa's healthy.
Yep.
And I like that. Deion Walker is going to swallow up Derrick Henry. But we do a good job of containing Lamar Jackson. We are very good
Yeah,
against him.
we do. Yeah.
I
Yep.
think that continues week 1 without previewing it a little too much.
Too much. Yeah, I got you.
As much as I want to, I wish we could say, hey, we have a game in 3 days, but we
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
Not yet. So, looking at that now, Audible of the Week, which kind of leads into the Bills rivalry jerseys. So let's talk about those first. Tommy, those jerseys are clean. I love them.
They're fresh, man. I was gonna ask you a question about them jerseys too. Do you think Deion Dawkins had any say in how they look and how they fit the team? Do you think he had any say in those jerseys?
I hope Deion Dawkins. It's the snow jerseys for the
snowman.
Right? I mean, right down the middle of the helmet, the sticker, the stripe. It is like silver ice. That is so clean. The back tag right there says Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
Just the white with the silver and the blue. The helmet is so clean. It's a white helmet, the silver, Bills emblem. I know this hat doesn't really help.
Yeah.
But let's see if I can pull up something here. Like if you look at this picture of Josh Allen, for anybody who has not seen the rivalry jerseys, I suggest you to go look at them. But as you see in this picture here, you got the white helmet that is gray. The blue for the Buffalo is gray. Then you got the blue outline of it. It looks so clean. Somebody said it looks like Detroit Lion jerseys, but I don't care. Those are so.
I think they look better than the Lions jerseys, man. To be honest with you.
So do I. Do I. I mean, I know, like we talked about, the collab comes out September 10th. I will personally be buying one, and those jerseys will be debuted October 5th, Sunday Night Football.
Week 5, right? Week 5 against the Patriots. And that could be the week that Maxwell Harrison is debuting for the Bills. So keep an eye on that, because I'm sure he would love to debut, in those uniforms.
Oh, I'm sure he would too. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Do we wear those all the time, please?
But
what are your overall thoughts on the jerseys?
Overall, like I said, I think they're clean. I think like when you see them on Sunday night, we're gonna shine with them jerseys on. Like I said, I think they might even play very well on them too, because usually when they put on some different shade of jersey, like they always like to show out. So, but yeah, I love them, man. They're clean, they're fresh. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for that week 5 game when they put those bad boys on.
Right. And now with Audible of the Week, which I said kind of collides, goes together with the NFL rivalry jerseys that were revealed today, is I think the Buffalo Bills have the best uniform combination in all of football.
I agree.
Blue on blue, you can go white on white. You got the color rush red on red. But then last year they were the red on white.
Yep.
And then now you got the red helmet. You have the normal white helmet, which I just showed up on the Pat and Tommy's Audible of the Week graphic. You got the white helmet with the red staining Buffalo. Now you got
they're bringing back the classics,
Right. And then you got these uniforms, the ones that we just talked about, the NFL rivalry jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go blue on white, white on blue, which hopefully we don't wear white on blue often. We have some of our, memorable games, not in a good way.
Right.
Combination.
Yeah.
But I think we have the best uniforms.
I agree. I love all the combos they can do, and it just the red, white, and blue. It's just I feel like the Bills are the new America's team. You know what I'm saying? When they get out there and Josh pumps up the crowd, everything else. So I just love the colors that we have, and it fits the Buffalo Bills.
It does. And the red, white, and blue stands out so much. Now you got the white, blue, and gray. But when you said America's team, we taking a shot at Dallas?
Might be, man. I mean, Jerry Jones is he's screwing up his team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, is this still their year?
Still, wait. What was the question?
Is this still Dallas's year?
No. It's not their year. No.
No,
It's not.
Nacho Year is a new.
Yeah, Nacho Year.
Go check it out. But Tommy, overall, we talked on the uniform combinations. Anything else that you want to touch on?
I just want everybody to stay healthy for this whole season, and like I said, we're under a week away from kickoff. So I mean, like we got real football in 10 days, Pat?
Yes.
10 days. Eagles and Cowboys. So I mean, let's get the season rolling. And
oh yeah, that's in a week. Yeah.
Oh, a week. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. 7 days then, right?
Yeah. Yep. 7 days.
So
Well,
yeah, let's get that going, and then leading up to the 1:00 games on Sunday. Then you got the 4:00, and then you got the big game, Baltimore and Buffalo, and then of course you got the Monday night game with the Vikings and Bears. So like, yeah, it's coming. I think all the fans are ready. I mean, Pat, you and I are ready. So
yes,
let's get this shig going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and one of my favorite sayings I've always said with Beyond, the co-host of the Coast to Coast podcast, is "Let's fucking go."
Let's fucking go.
And now, before we hop out of here, though, Tommy,
yep,
I will let you take this one.
Yes, everybody, you could follow us on our socials at Dude Champions, at TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, Spotify, Amazon Prime, and Facebook.
Yep, and make sure you stay up to date with our giveaway, which will be ending kickoff September 7th. If we reach 3,000 followers, again, make sure you like and repost that post. Follow us on Twitter at Dude Champions and Glenn Goodberry, Glenn_Goodberry, and that's with 2 N's in Glenn. And let's just stay healthy. Let's have one hell of a year, Tommy.
And we're gonna for next week's show, we're gonna preview the game, of course, and go over matchups and everything else like that. So tune in to us and all our shows on the Dude Champions networks. And Pat, as always, good to be seen.
Good to be seen. And the shows are Monday. You got the Combat Zone with Alex, Miley, and Randall. Then Wednesdays you have the Coast to Coast with the Almighty Widow 2K and Beyond 716. Thursday you can catch me and Tommy here at the Bills Canvas at 6:00 Eastern. Friday you got Chase and Data, which he's our analytics guy. He covers all things NFL. He is a Baltimore Ravens fan. Possibly might be joining us next week, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. Yep.
We gotta make sure we gotta give him some hell next week for being a Ravens fan.
Yeah, I know, right? We're gonna have to.
Yeah, congratulations to him. He just reached 5,000 live viewers on his show, and he's wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt.
Let's go.
And make sure you check out the Third Mansfield podcast every Saturday. That's with Matt and Student, the founders of Dude Champions. And then you can catch me playing Madden and whatever else I'm feeling that night on there as well. That's Gridiron Grandson, goes live right after the Third Mansfield podcast. Then Tommy, I think you hit the nail on the head. Stay healthy, and from us here, we'll see you guys next week. Good to be seen.
Let's paint.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Dude Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Dude Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Dude Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club.